my friends, that's right, you have seen the title, and I just thought, given that Impact Wrestling just got to 1,000 episodes, the right thing to do was just to throw out a little bit of love. Therefore, we are going to go through some bits of that show and the most recent episode of Impact Wrestling that went down last Thursday, depending on when you are watching this. And we're going to take the finger of power, and we're going to give the bits and up, and we're going to give the bad bits and down. I'm just going to tell you, if you are looking for a fantastic alternative in your wrestling life, you absolutely should start here. Let's up those downs. So we shall start with the X Division, which has been a mainstay of Impact since day one. Don't forget that the company has been going for pretty much 20 years. That makes it damn legendary. At times as well, the entire company has basically been built around the X Division. Just look at all the stars it's produced. It deserves a massive round of applause. At Impact 1002, Alan Angels won an absolutely crazy #1 contender match when he was taking on Samurai Del Sol, Zachary Wentz, Rich Swann, Mike Bailey, and, well, that was it. But it did mean that on the following week's show, it was Alan Angels versus Chris Sabin, and that slapped too. Now, very sadly, Alan Angels not able to capture this championship, but that does mean we can now sing the praises of Chris Sabin, because he debuted in 2003, and he's still up here. I mean, how the hell has been doing that for almost 2 decades? It's also great to see Angels doing so well after he was released from AEW. And honestly, the best thing about him here is at the end, he just went super duper mega heel and he booted Sabin right in the testicles. I mean, it didn't work, but still he tried. Instead, he got rocked in the back of the head and he got hit with the cradle shock for the 1, 2, 3. So seriously, if you have time for 2 matches today, watch the #1 contenders match and then what this is just such a wonderful double shot, whatever that means, and I am absolutely giving it an up. And in terms of the X Division in general, well, I'm giving it an up too, but it's only going to show us 1 up. What? Just to throw some extra love in there too, when they were done, Kenta appeared on the big screen, and he challenged Chris Sabin for Bound for Glory. I mean, you can't say they don't try. Well, we could also do a total 180 when it comes to Impact, because we have big men slapping Mandy. Because in Impact 1000, we did see Jake Something taking on Dirty Dango, which is another reason we should all be pleased that this company is out there, because they recruit a hell of a lot of good talent. And then a week after this, flipping Rhino, is still crushing folks. He destroyed Jack Price before he continued on his feud with Steve Macklin, and that's another guy. He got released from WWE, and he has totally refound himself down in Impact, to the point I'm like, I tell you, at one point, he's gonna climb back up to the tippity top. Going back to Jake Something too, I can foresee in his future him going to an AEW or a WWE. When that does happen, this is what needs to go down. He has to keep the Something name, because it is so ridiculous that it becomes amazing. I mean, if you want to change the Jake, that's fine. Call him Bob Something. It's just one of the reasons that I absolutely love pro wrestling. And also, he gets better every single week too. I just love seeing individuals betting on themselves, and it is getting it up. You also get guys going the other way as well, because recently Eric Young returned to Impact, and I'm sure you saw those news stories. But the absolute highlight is that he literally returned from the dead. Like a year or so ago, whenever it was, I saw Cody Dealer kill him, and then Young was in this amazing vignette where he basically spoke in riddles, and because of that and the spooky music in the background, it was like, all right, well, he's back. There's something else that I do want to throw out there as well. When Impact does go super wacky, they just totally embrace it to the point you kind of shrug. You go, you know what? I have no problem with that at all. Goofy wrestling for life. He also had this wonderful fun match on Impact 1000 with Kenny King, where we got 2 disqualifications that basically resulted not only in the reunion of Team Canada, but America's Most Wanted got back together as well. Oodalally. That really did make me laugh as well, because it was just Shenanigans Central, but I'm going to repeat myself. Impact does this while also going wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I mean, it's just so damn fun. Of course, the good guys got the win here, but we also had a video on the most recent episode of Impact with Cody Deaner basically going, Eric Young, you stole my throne. I was like, what the flub is he talking about? Still though, do I want to see more of this? Absolutely I do. And this Eric Young man constantly proves everybody wrong. Give it an up. Which brings me to Feast or Fired. Now, if you don't know, I'm sure you can figure it out, but this is actually one of Impact's more unique stipulations, where wrestlers compete in a match and they all go after briefcases, and then after the fact, they open said case and they find out whether they've got a title shot or whether they've lost their job. Shit. So in Impact 1000, we saw one of these, and then we got the results, with Crazy Steve becoming the #1 contender for the Digital Media Championship. Moose got the same, but for the world title. Good for him. Chris Bay secured a tag team belt shot, so he's going to do that with ABC. Whereas Yuya Uemura got fired. What? Now look, this does make sense, as it means his New Japan excursion is over, so he's going to go back out to the East. But if you've been watching Impact recently, he kind of started a tag team with Joe Hendry not all that long ago, and now it's already done. On the Impact after this as well, they did come back together for one last attempt at glory, where they took on the Rascals, and they lost. It's not really gone very well for Joe or Uemura, but I am putting this directly on the head of Joe Hendry, because as the commentators told us, well, maybe if they are victorious here, we won't have to fire this man. And we did. So look, he's gone. He ain't coming back. So there's nothing else we can do. I am giving it a down, and I am putting that down on the head of one Joseph Hendry. Look, I said his name, and did he appear? No, he didn't. Moving forward though, I'm just gonna throw 4 names at you. Trey Miguel, Josh Alexander, Mike Bailey, and Jonathan Gresham. I mean, these guys are flipping all time. Alexander has totally made Impact his own and turned himself into an absolute main event player. And he took on Trey Miguel on Impact 1000. And I tell you, Trey is such an underrated gem. We need to be shouting about him more. And that is exactly the same for Gresham and Bailey, who then took on each other 7 days later. And look, we all know that Jonathan Gresham is great. We've been talking about him for ages. But Mike Bailey, over the last 12 months, he has just got on the success horse and he's riding to Success Town. I don't know what that means. He just reminded everybody, though, that it doesn't matter the promotion or the place or the time. It just has banger after banger after banger. Josh, too, was able to hit the C4 in order to beat Trey and continue his momentum back to the top after he did lose the championship because he got injured. Whereas Gresham decided, man, I can't beat this guy. He's really pissing me off. So he held the trunks and he got the 1, 2, 3. Now I have seen Jonathan Gresham's heel work in progress too, up close and personal, and that guy is an absolute hoot. So this made me shout out loud, good things I mean, because both matches were just of top quality. You should watch them. Getting it up. Which is the same for the Knockouts Division 2. I mean, this thing is sublime. I mean, Impact 1000 had the crazy match where it was Trinity, Jordan Grace, Mickie James, Gail King, and Awesome Kong taking on Deonna Purrazzo, Tasha Steele, Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Angelina Love in just the perfect mix of old school versus new school. They also just booked this perfectly because Awesome Kong got the win. You were like, damn it, Kong, you've done so much. And then zoom forward a week when Purrazzo and Steels met up, and they literally went, hey man, we're really good individually. We've won a lot of championships, so do you know how we can win ×2? Well, we can come together and be a tag team. You damn right. You also had Trinity versus Shaw main eventing that show, and if you want to come into my house right now and tell me this was Trinity's best match ever since she debuted Impact Wrestling, I'm not going to argue with you. That's not because the other ones were bad, it's because this one was flubbing great. So she is getting better and better every single week and proving a lot of doubt was wrong. And as for Giselle Shaw, well, it's not a Trey Miguel situation. She's an underrated gem. We need to start talking more. So I'm absolutely going to give that an up, and actually, as this is somewhat of a celebration over the last 20 years, I'm not sure an American company has booked their women as well as Impact. We are giving it a damn up. It just goes to show right now Impact is on fire, and if you do have the time, go and watch the 2-night extravaganza spectacle that is Impact 1000, then try and watch the following week's TV, and I bet you'll get a little bit hooked. Because seriously, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be stunned by some of the gimmicks, but in the way they are intended. If you like feeling warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum, and you just want to enjoy wrestling, because wrestling is great and sometimes a little bit silly, well, I present you Exhibit A. So I really do appreciate all the risks they have taken over the years and the fact that they've always believed in themselves. So overall, we are giving it an up. Long live Impact Wrestling. Now, of course, please do share your favorite memories of Impact in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And you know the deal. There'll be another ups and downs on the screen right now. You can give that a click. And you go to whatculture.com and you can follow us on social media and just say, hey. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.